happening, lads and lassies, and welcome to a very special version of the Dynamic Duo Presents. Cause, wait a minute, right? There's a new white boy on the channel. I wonder who he is.
Down, 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 down,
Cody, aka Breakfast Media, Flip First. What's happening, people?
So if you guys don't know what's going on, crooked in my throat, love that. Anyway, if you want to know what's happening, today is a very special crossover episode that we've been promising over on Kings of Pop Culture. You know, we've even been teasing it, even in Cody's streams back a wee bit ago. This is the Fit First and the Dynamic Duo crossover. This is part one of a 3-part trilogy. So if you want to see more of this stuff, stick around. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the first Spider-Man in the Rami trilogy. Arguably the best one in the Rami trilogy, you know, depending on who you are. Us three agree on that one. Not sure about Danny. I think Danny's the odd one out here.
I think number 2, but you know, that's just me.
Well, we can get into that. We can get that into part 2, but let's stick on topic right now on number 1.
Yeah,
so,
show.
Because this is our channel, let the guests go first. So, RJ or Cody, this time it's up to you guys. Which one wants to go first?
I went first last time. You go first.
All right. So, just my general thoughts about the movie, what I think, what I like, what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, this movie will always have a very special place in my heart. It's got me into Spider-Man. It really got me wanting to learn more and more about the lore, read the comics, watch the shows, and just play the games. And Tobey Maguire was the first thing that I saw when it came to Spider-Man. So he was my definitive Spider-Man, and me and RJ have dubbed me former Rami fanboy because I think Tom is a little better than him now, but it's a subject for another video. Yeah, I mean, this movie, it really showed how to tell an origin story correctly, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. It definitely kept a lot of stuff original to the comics with a lot of stuff that was changed, like specifically the suit. It was definitely an all original design that was still a little bit accurate to the comics, but I would say it's more different. And I really enjoyed the all original design, and it's definitely one of the most iconic suits for Spider-Man. And they chose arguably the best Spider-Man villain to headline this movie with the Green Goblin, Normanosborn, and probably one of, if not the best, castings for a villain in all of Marvel, in William Dafoe as the Green Goblin, whose performance still holds up to this day, as proved in No Way Home. He really just encapsulates that character and how menacing he is. He truly is Norman Osborn, especially when the Goblin takes over. So it's super amazing to see, and it really shows. I really love how it shows Peter learning the ropes, pun intended, as being Spider-Man. So it was definitely. It'll always hold up really high in my ranking. I think RJ, I forget where I had it. I think it was number 2 actually in my ranking for the Spider-Man movies. So it's always going to hold a special spot, whether you call it nostalgia or stuff. But that's just what I enjoy. And
I gotta rewatch that.
Toby's.
You had it at 3.
Yeah, maybe. But it'll probably always be in the top 5. But yeah, just a great movie, and it'll always be awesome for me.
Nice. RJ, what about yourself?
Okay, so as you know, if you've been watching I love Danny's laugh, man. If you've watched, you've been here from the start of the Kings of Pop Culture, I love Spider-Man. There's 2 characters that I love, Spider-Man and Batman. They hold a place in my heart. When it comes to the Raimi trilogy, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think it's
wait, what? How dare you? How dare you, RJ?
I don't think that
5,000 likes down.
Sorry, hate me all you want, but I don't think it's the Holy Trinity trilogy as people make it out to be. I can't put it in my top 5 comic book trilogies or my top 5 trilogies in general because it didn't have a good third movie. But we'll get to that in a minute. That's besides the point. But the first movie, I really do. It'll always have a special place in my heart. It was the first spot. Tobey Maguire is like the first Spider-Man that pretty much we all watched. He was my favorite until Tom Holland came along, but this movie, I think it was the pinnacle of like showing how to do an origin story, like Cody said, and it's up there with like the best like origin stories of Batman Begins and then the first Iron Man. I think those three movies are like the best origin story movies, but and there's some stuff that doesn't hold up to like today's film standards, but I still love it for what it is, and I like the campiness of it that Rami pulled with it. And Willem Dafoe, man, he is just phenomenal in this movie. He is the Green Goblin. Like he's so good as Norman that I don't think we'll ever see another live action Norman that's not him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just that good. And you can argue that his performance in No Way Home is better because he just takes it up an extra notch in that movie. He just he just gets better like each time he's on screen as Norman. But I like Tobey in this movie. He's a good Spider-Man for the most part. I don't like the organic webs. I think it's a bit. I just can't get with it. I'm a web shooter kind of guy. I love the web shooters. It's authentic to Peter's characters, but it works for this trilogy. So I'll be lying to say if it didn't work, but it works. I'm not a fan of it, but it works. I think the suit looks the best in this movie. Tobey's suit, it looks the best in this movie, like with how the camera pans on it and just the color, and it's up there like in the top 3 like live action Spider-Man suits. I love James Franco's Harry in this movie, and he gets better like as the movies go on. We'll get to the third one when we get to the third one. I know a certain someone what they do with the character in the third movie, but it is what it is. But Kirsten Dunst is MJ. I mean, she's okay. Hey, she's actually good in this movie. Like this is like
and
she's
fine.
like really
Most
good.
tame.
Like, yeah, she's actually chill in this movie, and that. Yeah, we'll get there, but
We get there.
and I love the final battle between Goblin and Peter. It was brutal, and it's what a final battle between the antagonist or protagonist should be like. And it has all the themes of what makes Spider-Man as a character, and like doing the right thing and protecting others, especially at the end where he tells MJ he can't be with her and all that stuff, even though they kind of undo that in the second movie. But it's a great. I still enjoy it for what it is. I think it kind of has been ruined by meme culture. Like I think meme culture kind of like when I watch this movie, when I watched like the Rami trilogy as a whole, and specifically like the first one, it's like I can't help but laugh. Like I view it as a comedy. I don't know if you guys know who Cosmonaut Variety Hour is, but he kind of like said that these movies are like comedies. Like it's funny. Like
it's funny.
Yeah,
man.
well, that's the thing. When you actually look back at it from like now, it actually does look more like a comedy. Like back when you were a kid, you took it so seriously, but when you look at it now as an adult, you're like, hey, this is a bit more comedic than I remember. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I still like it. I like it in a different way.
You still like it. You have a soft spots for it. Like it's nostalgia. I'm not really a big nostalgia guy. I think people like praise things sometimes that they really like. They use nostalgia, and it's like,
dude, I'm the king of refusing to let nostalgia
he
make
is.
like legitimately. I could love a movie so much, and then the minute I rewatch it as an adult, and I go, "That's shit." No. Why did I rewatch it? No.
I still like it. It's kind of similar. How I view the Rami trilogy is, it's very similar to the prequels.
Yeah.
Campiness, some of the acting like being criticized, but it's very similar. Like not like as far as plot or anything, but just how like we perceive them, like their memes and all that stuff. The 2000s era of film,
Oh man.
But I appreciate for what it is. It's in my top 5 Spider-Man movies. I think I had like No Way Home and 2 in front of it. Like that's my like top 2 Spider-Man films. But I think it's like top. I think it's like third. I think I had a third, Cody, but it's up there. It's still a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Not a guilty pleasure. It's not a bad movie, but it's still like
Yeah.
you still
Did
like.
you say his Toby's quip to Bonesaw? I don't think that's outdated. I think you can still use that today, right?
Oh yeah, you can still use that. Yeah.
Mm.
The funny thing is though, that's the first movie. That's the only like times where like Spider-Man is really quipping to like Spider-Man from the comics. Like that's the
Cute
only
outfit.
time. Yeah, the second and third one he doesn't really quip that much.
No.
Yeah, no, that is one of the lacking things of Tobey Spider-Man is the quips, I would say. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll go next, and we'll leave best for last because we know Danny is a king of the kingdom of the fandom out of all of us. Like we like the Rami trilogy, but he adores the Rami trilogy. So is what
Toby, for God, no.
So for me, for me, like I've got a bittersweet thing with this movie as well. It would still be in my top 5, arguably as well. But for me, like going back after watching it as a child and things, like it has become a meme movie. Like I'm sorry, I still can't get over the fact that Flash looks like he's a 30-year-old dropout that's just hanging around school for no apparent fucking reason. Also the fact that like one thing I would also argue is like one of the things that I liked about this movie compared to a lot of other starts of like a movie. It was at first it was kind of a slow burn into the introduction of him becoming Spider-Man. So then the entire like middle act of the movie then becomes him learning how to be Spider-Man somewhat. By the end, he is Spider-Man and he's taking on Green Goblin, and that's one of the things I really liked about this movie. Is that a lot of movies don't do that as much these days. They actually made it a proper progression. Kirsten Dunst, yeah. Is she still Kirsten Dunst? Yeah, she is. But she was a bit better in this one compared to the rest of them, and we can get onto that further on. But she done her best job. Does she look comic accurate? Yes, in a sense. Like she did copy one of the outfits from one of the comics I remember, but that's for like one scene, and then after that she's just wearing diner outfits all the time. And but I guess they were trying to make it more realistic. Like, oh, she's trying to be an actress, so she's gonna wear she will be working in diners, being a waitress and all that crap. But yeah. Also, another thing that I do really like about this movie as well is that as much as I obviously like to rag on Tobey's like Spider-Man a lot, because obviously like for me I like to like be the devil's advocate and always like wind people up and joke about characters. He was a good Peter, but when it comes to Spider-Man, that is where he does lack. I would agree with RJ and Cody when it comes to that first scene when he's against Bonesaw, who's actually Randy Savage for all my wrestling fans out there. Yeah, brother.
Brother. Oh yeah!
That is the only time you do see the quippy side of Spider-Man, and he doesn't play as quippy for the rest of the movie, which is quite a shame. And obviously, we can also get to the retcon from this movie in the third one when we get round to that one as well, because that always irked me as well.
Oh yeah!
Yeah. But
Butler.
The one thing that I also do like is that they had a Bruce Campbell cameo in this movie as well, which is obviously a nod to Sam Raimi's much better trilogy, Evil Dead. I would argue I'm a horror fan. I think Raimi's better at horror movies than he is at superhero movies. Don't take that as an insult, Raimi fanboys.
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm saying he was bad at it. I'm just saying he's stronger in a certain aspect.
To add on to your point, when he did Doctor Strange, he's good in directing, but I feel like they should have kept Scott Derrickson. Like Raimi, he's a good director, but he brought a lot of the campiness into Doctor Strange 2 that just didn't work for me. And
Sam Raimi is very good at the campy stuff, because even with the Evil Dead trilogy, the first one was proper horror, and then by the third one, it was the same as this trilogy. It got more and more campy as it went along. And I think that's what he needs to reel it back in again. It's sort of like James Gunn, he likes to be very campy and he pushes it a bit too far at times, and you just can't really be bothered with it. But with this movie, I would argue this is the best one. The writing, the pacing of it is really good, and for me specifically, it is my favorite of the Raimi trilogy. And for me, it would probably be No Way Home, Homecoming, and then it would be this one. Spider-Man 2 is low on my list, and we'll get into that later in the other video. And I can't wait for all the fanboys being like, "Wait, what? What do you mean?" But yes, so moving on to the Rami fanboy of our friend group, Danny.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire is the motherfucking GOAT. No, I'm playing. Oh man, I like. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like me and RJ, like that was like our first banter with one another. Just go rewatch some of those videos of the watcher. Tom, it's like, man, screw your Iron Boy Jr. Man, shut your ass with your little whiny boy Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean,
To be fair, I'm on RJ's side with this, so I'd be so.
Nah, man, but for me personally, I like the Raimi trilogy. Like, I understand that there are flaws in the Raimi trilogy, and like some Raimi fanboys will never admit that his trilogy has problems.
Even for its worst
will be one. It's like they just won't admit it. With this trilogy, it has its problems, but it still holds a great place in my heart. William Dafoe as Green Goblin. I mean, he's the GOAT. Ain't nobody. I feel sorry for the next person who has to come right behind him. Like whoever's going to be the MCU.
They already tried it to be. They already tried it to be fair.
There's a reason why they had him be in No Way Home. I don't think they're going to make it.
Yeah, but to be fair, they already did try that in GN's favorite movie, TASM 2. Nice little shout out to you, GN. I know you're watching.
AIDS Goblin.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I choose to forget about the I love you, Andrew, but Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, she was tamed in this movie. Yeah, like the second movie. There's something that I probably have to say about Spider-Man that will be unpopular with the Spider-Man fans for Spider-Man 2, but that's another thing right there. But like
snap! I can't wait to see this.
What else? The actor that played Uncle Ben. The woman that plays Aunt May, perfect casting.
Yeah, how could we forget about Uncle Ben in this movie? Goddamn. Yeah, I would argue he's the best Uncle Ben, considering the other one, and then Tom, it didn't exist. So yeah.
Yeah. What else? The fucking butler. Like, it's all your fault. Hashtag butler's his fault. But for me, the reason why I kind of like this trilogy is really because I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man the animated series, and like it literally was like a copy and paste, like live action. I mean, it's if Sam Raimi said, "Oh, I never took inspiration from the animated series," he's a damn lie, boy. Like, like there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, man. But yeah, and of course, like Tobey's a better Peter Parker than Spider-Man. I think for me, I think Andrew's a better Spider-Man, and Tom is a great mix of both. But Peter, for me, I mean, if you're talking about straight up Peter Parker, it has to be Tobey Maguire. He just got it like just down packed. Like you feel bad for the guy. Like every single time when he gets close to like getting something that he wants, life just says, "Nah, no, you don't get to have a happy ending." So. Scratch that part out. But yeah, that's how I feel. Cody got what I got.
It took me a
minute. But yeah, that's how I feel about Spider-Man number 1. For my top 5, it's like number 3 because I got like number 2 and then No Way Home as number 2. So but that's how I feel so far.
I'm pretty sure like Spider-Man 2 like ended up on like 7 of my list, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I really don't like that movie. We'll get into that when we cover that though. But yeah,
like we're all on the same wavelength for this first movie. It's like 3, 2, 3, 4-ish in our top 5s for all 4 of us.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It seems like we've all got that's the reason why I never brought up Goblin is like because there's already 3 other people that have talked about Goblin, so there's no really necessarily need for it. Like obviously, but no. So what would you rate it back when you first watched it, and what would you rate it now?
Oh, I would have given it a 5 out of 5, no problem when I was a kid, but now I've grown up a little bit. Let's see if I ranked it on Letterboxd. I thought I did, but I might not have. Now I guess I would give it, from a Spider-Man fan's standpoint, I'd give it a 9, but as for a film, I would give it an 8 or an 8.5.
Okay, RJ.
Okay, so with me, when I was younger, like you said, I'd give it this like a 10 out of 10. But as you get older, you get more wise and all that stuff, and you learn about the film industry, and as a Spider-Man fan, I'd give it an 8, an 8.5. But as a film, I'm giving it a 7.5 because there's some elements that don't hold up to today's I hate to use that because it came
product
out
of time.
I feel like it's a product of its time type movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
If you make that type of movie today,
I
Nah,
I get it.
You also have to realize that comic book films back then were not taken seriously like they were now.
It was before the MCU.
They didn't start taking it seriously until the Nolan trilogy, and then Iron Man came out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's just me. That's just how I see it.
No, that's a fair assessment. So, for me, as a child, I would have said a 10 out of 10 because I legitimately remember that Chad Hogan song that everybody always mistakes as a Nickelback song. It's not actually a Nickelback song. It's an actual other band. I think it's called another band.
Oh no,
I can't remember.
That's Jacobs.
But Chad was a part of that song, but it's not actually a Nickelback song.
They say that a
hero to save us. But anyway, before we get copyrighted, I would have given it a 10 out of 10.
This is for you, Jacob.
Now, as much as I love this one, it's probably arguably the better one out of the trilogy. I would probably give it as a comic accurate version. I would give it a 7. Because for me, I think there is a lot of good comic accurate stuff in it, but there's also a lot of stuff that don't make much sense when it comes to comic accuracy. And then if it's just a movie on its own, because of how dated it is now, I would give it a 6.5 just to be fair. It's not like I'm saying the movie's bad. I'm just saying that there is a lot of things where it's just what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
As much as it's a cool scene, I would also argue it's why the lunch tray scene. As a kid, you're like, oh, look, that's so cool. But as an adult, it's
that lunch tray scene does not make any sense. Okay, listen.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Listen. I'm sorry. This is what I got to say. So, you mean to tell me that throughout that movie, after that, where you can see the web, you can see it. He flicks that son of a bitch, and he hits Flash, and then he's dragging it, and everybody's just looking at the web, and you tell me
that makes sense.
Nobody suspects that he's that he's Spider-Man.
He's doing that, and then he does a triple backflip fighting Flash, and then they see Spider-Man a week later,
doing the same move.
I wonder who that could be.
Maybe there's just that one nerd in the back says oh yeah, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. What? How do you know? It's
you mean
I just see
MJ in the Tom trilogy.
No, because he took that tray and he just flicked that bitch and it hits Flash.
Yeah, no, not even just that one. It's also the fact that the one when he's trying to be smooth and stuff. It's I'm sorry, if you see Danny, if you see
I can't say that word right now.
I was testing you. To see if you'd actually do it. I was testing if you'd actually do it. Yes, I got him. That was a good test.
I can say it, but I did it just wouldn't look right.
I was trying to catch you to see if you'd do it. That's all. But anyway, but when he's catching all that stuff as well on the lunch tray when he's being smooth with MJ, I'm sorry, who the fuck's not noticing that?
Yeah.
It's in plain view.
How does
Yeah.
it not click in MJ's head either? Like, this man just caught all my lunch perfectly.
But if you think about it, like when it comes to any like superhero universe, like nothing clicks. No one pays attention. Like, I mean, people like walk past Clark Kent with sunglasses. I mean, with regular glasses. I mean,
That's true. I'm just saying.
Yeah, see, when it comes to
like
Superman
that,
though,
he has the web and he flicks a tray and he's dragging the tray.
it's not like Clark Kent is flying about in his daily planet get up on a daily basis, you know. But that's what it's like. It's like him doing that with a web is Clark Kent flying about in his daily planet attire. It's just like that's clearly Spider-Man.
To me, it never did. It's like how do you morons not see?
Exactly.
It's just like this. Oh, I'm not Superman. I am Superman. Like,
Danny, there's a difference. That at least that comic character came out in the 30s, dude. Like Spider-Man didn't come out until a lot longer.
Yeah, I get where Danny's point of view. Yeah. I'm just saying that it's like that's why you don't do scenes like that where he has the web. And he's the tray. And loads of high schoolers are like looking at it. It's just like kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a little kid, I think I was like 10 or something like this when this movie came out. Something like that.
Everybody forgets Danny's the old man here.
Yeah, it's like I'm starting to forget. How old was I in 2003? Anyway,
2002, but okay.
Yeah, 2002. See? Yeah. I'm thinking about the other one, like, you know, the what's that, Madam Web? What? No, we ain't gonna bring that up. That's another roast session. That's a roast session.
Actually, before you give it, that's actually something I was going to say. As much as I love the Spider-Man animated series, I will never forgive them for introducing Madam Web because of what they've done with that character.
50 Shades of Web.
Oh god.
50 Shades of Web. Anyway, and 19 Inches of Venom. So for this movie, as a kid, I would have gave it like probably like a 9 out of 10. Like, you know, 9 out of 10 as a kid. It is a product of its time. So for today's score, I'm with a 7.5, 10, or whatever. Like
that's lower
for this
than the
one,
Batman.
Yeah, it is lower than the Batman. 7.5. Like I said, I understand the problems that everybody has with the Rami trilogy. I'm not oblivious or whatever. Like some Rami fanboys are. Because if you attack this movie, you are attacking their childhood. I ain't that type of dude. I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion. So yeah, it's about 7.5 out of 10 because, you know, it's a product of its time. I mean, like half the stuff they said back in that movie, you couldn't even say today, or else you'll be canceled. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's how
fair enough. Right.
You gave it a 6.5, Adam. Would you give it, RJ? 7.5.
7.5.
And I gave it an 8.
Yeah.
I gave it.
Yeah. Right. So this is the part of the video where we do a post-credit scene, and this is a very, very special one compared to the past few we've done, because this post-credit scene, are we jumping into a different universe, Danny? Are we going over to someone else's multiverse, would you say?
We're doing the multiverse better.
Fuck.
Yeah, we're doing the multiverse the way it was supposed to be fucking done, thank you, MCU. Anyway,
So like, are we gonna, like, I know. Okay, so get this out, Adam. So what you're saying is, you know, we always said that Batman and Robin wanted to meet the two Spider-Men. So like, we're gonna meet Spider-Man, and then we got Peter, Miles, and everything. Like, you know, like we're gonna meet Miles Morales.
So for the first time in comic book history, Robin and Batman will be meeting Peter Parker and Miles Morales. And I want to do a big shout out to the boys for coming on over from Flip First, and that's another part of the special thing. The next part of this, the second one, will be over on their channel, so there will be a link down in the description for them. Also, remember to subscribe here and then go over there and subscribe to there too. So As usual, I have been Kane and Wolf. That has been MMA King Crease Jr. That's been Strike First Media, Flip First, and RJ. I shall
Thanks for
see you
having
guys
us, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank
in the
you.
next video.
Subscribe, people. Subscribe.